Hello friends, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful time zone. Now Palia is a very cozy, wholesome game, and I was wondering if there's a way that we can make a creepy, scary, kind of a haunted build for the Halloween season. I'm sure other people have a thought of ways to do this before, but honestly, this is very outside of my decorating style, and I was very inspired to make a Halloween build. So I came up with this creepy haunted cemetery with a mausoleum in the back. But before we get into the build, if you like these types of videos, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel. And let's get into the build. For this design, I thought the conservatory was the perfect building for our mausoleum, but instead of having all windows, we're actually going to be changing the sides to be solid. And then 4 walls, we're going to be using a flagstone Gibson wall just because from Google, most of the mausoleums I saw were made out of stone, so I thought this fit that vibe the most. So we're going to have that on the outside and the inside. Then for floors, I used the slate swirl tile floor. Next, we're going to work on some landscaping. For this build, I only use the pine trees, and I'm using the mature, the adult, and the young versions. If I could do this again, I would honestly just spend the time growing more pine trees. Since this is the only build on this plot, I wish I could literally fill this entire thing just to make it a huge, dense forest. I think that would add just to the creepy vibe that I'm going for and make it feel a little bit more isolated. And to go along with the trees, of course, we need to add some flowers. But to stick on theme, I'm only using a few, and those are the fiddle frond flower, the bluebell flower, and the trillium flower. I wanted to use these just because of the color palette. I think it makes the space feel a bit more creepy and not as lively because we aren't using that many colors. Very cemetery-like. For the courtyard, we're going to be making a little grave site, and for these, I actually got this idea from Witchy TQ. I will have her original video linked down below. She has a ton of great ideas if this one isn't really the vibe that you're going for in your space, but we're going to be using the square concrete paver to make flat grave headstones. I would just align them in some sort of grid like I have here, and then for some spots, I actually use some tree seeds to make it look like a grave was freshly dug up. And above the headstones, I would place gourmet soup bowls for like an empty grave, add some flowers, and then some candles for the graves that were recently visited. At the entrance, we're going to be placing the Ravenwood standing lamp, and then we're also going to put this right up at the front of the building, just then it adds a little bit of light to our cemetery. And I'm a baby, but guys, I'm already getting a little creeped out by this build. I also added a few banners to the windows just to make the conservatory look a little bit different. But before we move on to decorating the inside, we got to make a path. So I'm using one of my favorites, the round concrete paver, and we're basically going to be making a little windy path from the entrance to the building. Then we're going to dress up the entrance with Ravenwood flower planters, candles, and the bug catcher's lure, which those actually emit such a creepy sound. I would highly recommend those for any sort of creepy or Halloween build that you're doing. Now, we don't have coffins in Palia, so for this space, I wanted to have Ravenwood couches on the outside facing a table towards the center back of the build. I didn't want the space to feel super cluttered, so we have moments where there's a lot of items, and then on the walls, it's pretty blank. But that's purposeful because I wanted this place to feel a little abandoned, but yet there's a sense of liveliness because it's haunted from all of the choppas that you hunted trying to impress Hassian. That's actually at myself, honestly. I'm sorry to all those choppas. I'm sorry. Somebody take this mic away from me. Anyways, for this space, I used a ton of Ravenwood items as well as investigator furniture pieces. I personally feel like both of these furniture lines work really well together. They're different, but they both have this dark academia feel together, and that's why I chose to use them in this space. For specific decor items, I used makeshift face mirror, some frames that were left on the floor, the lantern bug plush, because I thought this plush kind of matched the vibes the most out of all of them, and it emits like a nice little glow, so it just adds to the space. Of course, we need to have a ton of candles, so I used the Ravenwood ones, winter light, floating candles, and jack-o'-lanterns to add a little bit more character to the space. Then some scattered leaves, just to make the space feel like it hasn't been taken care of. And then after decorating the inside, I decided that I wanted some floating candles on the outside, so I put it with the landscaping along with some leaf piles and jack-o'-lanterns just to add to the Halloween theme that I was going for. And now I present to you my creepy haunted cemetery in Palia. I'm actually quite happy with how this turned out. I think it's especially a little creepy when you tour it at night, which I will have this available to tour very soon. I currently have my pumpkin patch up for tours. I will have that video linked in the corner or down below if you're curious to see that. But once that's over, I'm gonna place this one up for tours. That way you guys can have a little creepy plot to tour during this Halloween season. But for this build, there's two main parts. We have the courtyard, which we're in right now, and the mausoleum towards the back. And this is probably my favorite part of the entire build, especially when you tour it around like 11 to 12 p.m. in Palia time. I just love the light going through the top windows. It makes me wish that we could set time frames for tourings in Palia. Hopefully we could do that sometime in the future, because I truly feel that this time of day during Palia makes this build. When you view it during the daytime, it doesn't feel as creepy, but during the nighttime, that's when you truly get this haunted Halloween vibe. So maybe we'll have to do some sort of like Halloween event in stream, which, guys, if you didn't know, I do stream over on Twitch. It's just at MeFaPuff on Twitch. If you like a live setting, we play a lot of Palia over there. That will be linked down below with all of my other socials. And while you're down there, it would mean a lot to me if you like, commented, and subscribed. It helps me grow the channel. This build was a lot of fun, so thank you so much for spending time with me today. Honestly, I truly appreciate it. If you are working on any Halloween or fall themed builds, I would truly love to see the projects that you're working on in Palia. Maybe you even took inspiration from this. But if not, I would just love to see what you guys are currently creating. So feel free to tag me in any photos or even post them in the Discord. But that is it for the video. I will see you guys next week with another Palia video. Until then, please make sure to stay safe, drink water, eat food, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.